Hi, am I audible?
What?
Can you see my, yeah,
Now we can't see, but I can hear you. Ah,
okay.
it's okay.
Hi,
Hi, nice to meet you.
nice to
Hi.
meet you too. Hi, this is Gaston. You can call me Gaston. And this is
Okay.
Marine and Emma. Okay.
Yes.
That's right.
Okay, guys, how can I help you? Can I know about your background? Um,
So first of all, I would like to thank you for your participation for this interview.
no worries.
So Emma
Pleasure is mine.
and me, we are actually in bachelor in management in
Okay.
Paris at the school Audencia. And so today we are going to interview you because we have a project in our course, which is called technology management. And our subject is about bioprinting and bioprinting with tissue organs and how it can be developed in the future.
Mhm. Okay, great.
So before we dive into the questions, could you please introduce yourself quickly and tell us a bit about your background and expertise, please?
Sure. And thank you for the opportunity. And let me introduce myself. As I have mentioned, my name is Gaston Ravin Dias. Professionally, I am a biomedical engineer. So I hope that you know a little bit about biomedical engineering and who are biomedical engineers. So we are the people who are acting as a bridge in between the hospital and the healthcare along with the engineering world. So we mainly deal with the equipments, modern technologies, whatever apply in the healthcare field. So we are the people who are dealing with that. So professionally, I'm a biomedical engineer, and I'm from Sri Lanka, and we are having our office, Healthcare Engineering Private Limited, based in Colombo, the capital of Sri Lanka. So I hope that you have visited, or you will visit one day. It's a good
Ah,
place to visit.
I have
Yeah,
go in Sri
Okay.
Lanka when I
me
can.
too.
Okay, it's a nice place and very beautiful country. Welcome to Sri Lanka in future. Okay. So, yeah, from the perspective of our company, Healthcare Engineering Private Limited, we are the biomedical or the healthcare consultants. That means from biomedical engineering, we have multiple companies in Sri Lanka. There are companies which can sell the medical equipments. So we call them medical equipment companies. But we are the specialized one who are doing the consultancy services, such as we advise the healthcare professionals, such as hospital owners, healthcare admins, and biomedical engineers from the hospitals in order to purchase what type of medical devices that they are required for their needs. For example, a huge hospital doesn't need a low X-ray or ECG machine. They need a high-end machine. So they will approach us and they will get our consultancy and some kind of a technical advice, right? You know, it's kind of a technical advice. We advise them which one to purchase, which one is good for their long run, and also we do provide several courses for the students like you who are dealing with a bachelor's, master's, and there are other
Yeah, that's what I saw.
the several other services we are providing, right? So it's kind of a quick and a brief intro about myself. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We have the first question about could you uh, briefly explain what bioprinting is and how it's working in the context of biomedical application?
Okay. Great. So, bioprinting or bio organ printing, on other terms. So that's a kind of a technology where we can print artificial organs. You know. So mainly
Okay.
we have that one in order to avoid the long queue of waiting for the organs for the transplantation. So
Okay.
still from the Asian view, because I'm from the Asian countries, Sri Lanka, from the Asian countries. I know we have a huge queue, even for an example. Let's go with some examples so that you will get to know that clearly. For the heart transplantation, or else for the bypass surgery, we have two types of hospitals in our regions. One is government hospital and the other one is called private hospital. So government hospital, luckily we are living in the country where we do not pay a single penny for the treatments. For the treatments and for the education, we do not need to pay. Everything is free in our country, right? But since they are providing the free services, we need to wait until we get our ticket number. For example, if I get a heart attack or if I get diagnosed that I need to transplant my heart, there will be a huge list. I need to put my name into the list and I have to wait until I get my name selected. So before I get selected, if I get another heart attack and if something gets wrong, then it's my time, right? But in the private
It's like
sectors, yeah,
it's
yes,
like different. Like we have to do a list of which person is more important and which one have to get
the represent.
second. That's
yeah.
right.
Maybe
Okay.
they are scaling from the urgency, whatever the severity of the problem. But again, there is a long queue. Almost it is like Canadian healthcare system. You know, even in Canada also we are following the same system. Whatever, if you approach the hospitals, you need to wait until you get your number, right, for the severe cases. But if it is very severe and if you are going to die, then you will get selected as the first person. But if it is normal and if you have the opportunity to wait, then you need to wait. But once you think about the private sectors, as long as you pay, your surgery will be done, right? Okay, so that's the normal scenario. So in this case only, we are applying the technology of bioprinting where we need not to wait for a long queue like this because we can print our own organs. So the technology behind the bioprinting or bio-organ printing is we will extract our own tissues. For example, they will take a biopsy. So you know some kind of biopsies, right? So they will take some tissue samples from us and they will develop whatever the organs. So what type of tissues they are extracting, they are kind of, we call it stem cells. So stem cells, in colloquial term, we say magical cells. So stem cells, we can modify it into any type of organs, whatever we create. For example, if we need skin, we can create from stem cell. If we need some liver tissue, then we can create from the stem cell. So stem cell is the single piece of cell group where we can create whatever the specialized cells we need. So it's a kind of a magical cells. So stem cells are the people what we are extracting using the biopsy method. And in the lab, in the laboratory, we develop some kind of tissues in order to print into an organ.
Okay.
Okay, so for example, the bioprinter is just similar to the mechanism of a normal paper printing, you know. But whenever we print the organs, they print the organ layer by layer. So each layer is kind of a tissues. So kind of maybe you may get some souvenirs from your friends, 3D souvenirs, 3D printed souvenirs, right? You have seen like that, right? So similar to that, we print the organ, and then what we do is once the organ is printed, then we need to simply transplant into the particular person's body. There are so many advantages as well because we can avoid the long queue. That's a top priority. And the other advantage is the organs are our organs because the root of the cells were collected from ourselves. We didn't get it from other third-party people, right? The tissue or whatever the material, the stem cell were collected from us. So it is our organ actually. So there won't be an organ rejection. So organ rejection is a scenario. What happens in the biofield is whenever you transplant, even though we pay millions of dollars in or hundreds of $1,000s to get the heart transplant or liver transplant or whatever organ, we are getting it from a third person. So let's say I have an issue, I need to transplant something from somebody. I was lucky enough to wait and I got something, some kind of a donor, but the donor cells are not matching my cell. Once I put his cell into my body thinks that's a foreign body. It is not my own.
Yeah,
So
and
it
you
starts
reject.
rejecting. It starts rejecting. Yes, you are correct. So once rejection happens, everything is failure. No point of waiting for such a long time. No point of paying a huge amount of money, right? So these kind of things, guys, can be avoided by printing our own organ, because that is our own tissues, no organ rejection. So we can avoid the long queues. So these are kind of what we call advantages of using bioprinting or bio organ printings. But we do not have that in Sri Lanka, you know.
Yeah. And I have a question. What are the main challenges that bioprinting face today?
Okay, bioprinting face the challenges. So the
Yeah.
challenges, for one of the challenges, I believe that it is very expensive. Everybody can't afford it, right? So only the rich people
Mhm.
can afford, because there will be a dedicated lab setup for them. You can't develop your own organ into a normal lab. Whatever the lab we have in the university, it's not the lab. We have a high-end dedicated lab, so only rich people are able to go for the bioprinting. And most of the developing countries like Sri Lanka, India, most of the Asian countries, they are not having these technologies. We are simply looking these things into a theoretical or some practical views, but no any surgeries are ever done in our regions. And
Okay.
another important thing I would like to mention here is we are only printing the organ, right? But organ needs blood supply, right? So for the
What is what did you say? The black what?
blood supply.
Wow, okay.
Okay, so for example, let's say we are printing a piece of our liver, right? We have some liver cirrhosis, and our doctors say we need to remove a certain part of our liver. And I'm rich enough to develop my own organ from the lab, and I got printed my piece of the liver. I got my liver transplanted into my body, but the thing is, there won't be any blood supply to my liver, the new liver piece, right? The big question is, still we are facing that issue. Creating the nervous system to or the blood supply system into for the new printed organ will be a little hard or challenging
Yeah.
in these days or in these areas. Still researchers are going on how can we develop natural blood supply into these kind of organs as looks natural from the body's perspective. So these are some kind of challenges.
Challenges, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do ethical consideration and regulatory framework impact the progress